Hey everyone, Danny Greco here, coming to you from a little different setting, and the reason being I've got a little emergency state of the union to talk about the Seattle area housing market, and I'm just about to show a house here which is going to fit very much which I'm going to talk about. But right now, as I film this, today is February 1st, 2021, we are at what has been the craziest market I've ever seen, especially this early on in the year. And I could have made this video 2 weeks ago and I'd be saying the same thing, but the pace and the ferocity of this market right now are really unmatched. The last couple offers I've written for buyers on single family homes, granted these aren't necessarily in Seattle. There could be Seattle, there could be Linwood. This applies to really the entire Puget Sound region pretty much. We've gone up against 26 offers, 21 offers. Everything is just in the double digits. I had a listing a few weeks ago in the Everett Mill Creek area that got 28 offers. I mean, houses are, you're lucky if you can even get in to schedule an appointment on some of these houses that they're getting 120, 130 showings in just 5-6 days on the market before offers are being due. So, the real important thing that I want to put forth here is this is giving me a lot of PTSD into the spring 2018 housing market. And I might have touched on this on other videos, but in that market, we saw the exact same thing happening here, where there was just low inventory, overwhelming demand, and what resulted was obviously these bidding wars that were just getting really, really intense. And what made that market and this market really, really wild are not just there's a lot of offers, not that just homes are selling above the asking price, but that homes are selling above and beyond what any comps are even suggesting or supporting. So for example, I had some buyers make an offer on a house recently that was listed really fairly in the mid 700s. I think maybe even a little higher, maybe 750, 760, something like that, 770 maybe. And I took a look at comparables, as I always do, and they were right in line with where everything had been selling. So I suggested that to my buyer, but obviously there was going to be a lot of attention, so needing to go above that was going to be necessary. The highest selling comp that had sold in that neighborhood sold a few months back for $825, and this house was better than the subject that we were looking at. It was bigger, it had a better layout, better lot, better area, whatever it may be. So there was a better comparable that sold at $825. Again, this is already $75,000 above what our home is being offered at. My client was even willing to go above that, up to $850,000. And keep in mind, of course, this assumes all contingencies are waived, because you're just not getting an offer accepted without contingencies, right? So my client went above that to $850, all contingencies waived. We weren't even in the running. I mean, 26 offers. This thing escalated up to $930,000. No contingencies. Now keep in mind too, in order to offer that high, there has to be another offer that activates that escalation clause. So there's at least 2 buyers, probably more like 4 or 5, that went above 900. I mean, now this home is selling $100,000 over what any other comparable, granted that comparable was even superior to this home, was selling for. And that's where things get really, really scary for me, and I'm getting PTSD for my buyers, thinking this is exactly what we saw in 2018 now, and reminding them what we saw in the second half of the year was that the market really changed. Suddenly in that summer of 2018, inventory hit the market, and we went from the most crazy sellers market we ever saw to the biggest buyers market we had seen in years too. And suddenly those people that were paying $100,000 over what the comparables were suggesting, and be careful, I'm using particular language there. I'm not saying over the listing price, because listing price is not always indicative of market value. And you see a lot of times right now, especially in Seattle, there are homes that are listed well below what their market value is, so they can attract more offers and sell higher. So these are homes that are not just selling above the listing price, but selling far beyond what the market value and any other market comparable is supporting. And we saw in the 2018 market that there was a ceiling that those prices hit, and when they did, it really changed things around. So I don't know if that's going to happen. If it does, I don't know when that's going to happen. I think you can make the argument that this market has got a little more wind behind its back in the form of interest rates being considerably lower than what they were 3 years ago, pent up buyer demand. But inventory is that key variable. So that's something we're going to continue to watch for, because that's the only thing that can really correct this pace that we're at. And it's unsustainable. It's going to have to hit a plateau at some point, but where our price is going to be when that happens. So anyway, something to look forward to, but yeah, something we're definitely looking at closely here.